Hey there, welcome back to the channel. I'm J-Ball, and today we're going to be talking about the SMCGR, also known as the SMC Global Rankings. We're going to cover Fgfs today. We did this last year, but now we have an official name for it because official things are always fun. Myself and the SMC team have compiled a list of the top 10 Fgfs riders from 2021. They will hold their title for all of 2022 until we make the next video. We're going to start with basically honorable mentions. The official name for it is the Cusp. The riders that are right there on the verge of top 10. Maybe they'll break into it next year, who knows, but they're still killing it. First rider on the list is a legend who came back to Fgfs, and that's Antonio Woth. From 2010 to 2012, Antonio was at the top of Fgfs. All of his videos got tens of thousands of views combined, and he looked unstoppable. He stopped riding for a while though. You know, a real job and real life, you know, it gets in the way, it happens. In 2021, he got back on the bike after like 4 or 5 years of not riding. And I think the community as a whole, and myself especially, were really excited to see, because Antonio is one of my favorite riders of all time. So seeing him back on a bike is great. He's still dusting off cobwebs, but he's still like has that signature Antonio style. He's definitely on his way to getting back to full form. Second rider on the cusp is going to be Sebastian Carvajal out of Bogota, Colombia. I got made aware of Sebastian in 2021, and he's been progressing a lot and posting a lot of videos. He's got really good bike control and tricks, and I see a lot of potential in him, and I think he's on the verge of really stepping up to the next level. Next rider on the cusp is Pablo Barros out of Chile. When I first saw him ride, I saw a lot of bike control, and he was doing it on 700s, which is awesome because it proves that you have bike control because it's a bigger bike and it's just overall harder to ride. He recently made the change to 26, and I've already seen his riding bump up since he switched over. Next up on the cusp is Tepe Iwabuchi, aka Nasty. Everyone I've mentioned so far is actually new to the list, but Nasty was, I believe, number 2 or 3 on last year's list. He didn't ride as much this year, but the few clips that he did post are amazing like always because he just has the best style and trick choice. So hopefully this year he rides more. Next ride on the cusp is Kang Myeong out of Korea. Kang is also new to the list, but I've seen a lot of growth in 2021 from him. He has good bike control. He can link lines together. He does 180s out of his grinds properly, and everything looks super clean and dialed. So I'm excited to see him ride more. The last rider on the cusp is our own Miguel. Miguel, skill-wise, deserves number 1. He's incredible, and he's one of the best to ever touch a fixed-gear freestyle bike. Unfortunately, he only posted like 3 clips in all of 2021. So his skill alone is holding him on this list, because the few clips that he does post are usually NBDs, like never been dones. He does them confidently. He makes really hard tricks look easy, tricks that nobody else touches. Now we're officially getting into the meat of the list. Number 10 on the SMCGR is going to be Japan's own RSK. RSK has been in the scene for a long time. He started to rise the ranks in 2013 when he got sponsored by Us Versus Them, which back then was a pretty big deal. And since then, he's maintained his skills on the bike, if not getting better. He's not riding as much as he used to these days because, you know, real life happens. I believe he had a kid. He won the only Fgfs competition that happened last year, the Fukuoka Loco. He got first place. He's one of the only people that are really doing legit hangover tooths these days, like on down rails. Kind of Ed Wonka style. Got great tuck nose, and he's just a super consistent rider, so he definitely deserves number 10. Number 9 is going to be our own Marquez. Last year's list, he was number 1. His activity in 2021 wasn't quite as strong as it was in the previous year, but the few clips that he did post were incredible as always because he just has some of the best bike control today. 540s, double bars, clean 360s. He posted enough though to keep him on the list, so Marquez number 9. Number 8 is going to be Tangjun Long out of China, aka 855. His first half of 2021 was filled with insane clips that people haven't seen, like 180 triple bars and 180 bar rewinds, just crazy fly out NBD tricks and incredible bike control. The second half of his year was spent riding BMX, so he's farther down on the list than he would have been if he kept going. Last year's list was actually a top 11, and he had the number 11 spot, so his riding went hard enough to rise him 3 spots on this list. Number 7 on the list is a legend, Congo, Justin Mitchell. Congo was on the cusp on last year's list. He just started picking up the bike again and he was starting to dust off the cobwebs. 2021, he definitely was fully comfortable on his bike again. He added brakes to his arsenal. He looks comfortable on the bike. He's doing really impressive tricks and looking like a beast while he's doing it. Congo's been doing it for probably the longest on this list, like him and Antonio, and it's really amazing to see him still continue to ride and push himself since like 2008. So big ups to Congo for continuing to ride hard. Number 6 is going to be San Jose's own Jimmy Watcha. Watcha is probably up there on one of the most talented people to touch an FGFS bike in the sport's history. The later half of 2021, he didn't post quite as much as he did in the first half, but every time he does post, it's something really creative or techie. I don't see other people really riding like him. Number 5 is somebody that's new to this list, but definitely not a new rider, and that's going to be Bombay out of Thailand. I've seen Bombay ride for a long time now, and he's always been pretty good, but he just was never getting to that next level. But then he got sponsored by Master, and being on that Master frame really elevated his tricks because he was on a really big bike before for a long time. He's always posting crazy combos at his local skate park and learning new tricks and new ways to tie lines together. And I've been really enjoying watching his riding lately. It's always a plus too when a rider puts out a web edit, because the web edit is kind of dying. It takes a lot more effort to make than just, an Instagram reel. So the fact that he went out of his way to make a small welcome to Master promo shows that he's putting in a lot of effort. Number 4 is going to be Chase Davis, aka Skirt Reynolds, out of Salt Lake City, moving himself up 2 spots from last year's list. Chase has been going ham on the gram and on TikTok. Chase is up there for putting the most content out on a regular basis. He is always riding. He's never pulling punches on his riding. He's always going hard and thinking of new stuff to do, whether it's the park or the streets. He's actually about to release a new web edit, so I'm excited to see that, but the web edit will count for next year's list. But it's cool that he's stacking up for a web edit because, like I said before, it takes a lot of effort to stack for a web edit these days. He's got one of my favorite styles on a bike personally, and he killed it all of 2021. We are officially in the top 3, and taking that number 3 spot is going to be Matt Spencer, aka Wolf Drawn. Matt put in so much work in 2021. He bumped up 6 spots from last year's rankings. Matt is also up there on putting out some of the most content, constantly lurking and finding spots and crazy setups. Putting his back wheel on anything he can find, jumping bigger gaps than anybody, rides the smoothest transition on a fixed gear. Nobody can deny the work he puts in. Word on the street is that he has a huge web edit in the works from when he was traveling across America. I haven't seen any footage from it, but I can already assure you that it's going to be incredible. Number 2 is going to be Matt Dijon, aka Matt Bastard. Matt is putting out a minute-long edit on Instagram what feels like every week. And not only is he putting out a lot of content, it's always good riding. There'll be a couple tricks in there that are like, oh, that was cool. Okay, that was cool. And then boom, he just throws out some banger that I've never seen or some crazy creative trick that he thought of in his beautiful mind. He's one of my favorite riders to watch in the streets. Not only is he great on the Fgfs bike, he also is great on the trick track bike. He got 3rd place in AM at the back to track trick track competition that we threw last year, and he just continues to put in work with all of his friends up in the Bay Area. That leaves the number 1 spot for our own Chase Henley. Chase Henley takes the crown this year. Chase went from the number 7 spot last year to number 1 this year. He put in an insane amount of work. He's doing crazy tricks that nobody else is doing. He won the fixated sprocket contest that was thrown last year to win a free sprocket. The kid just has infinite tricks on flat rails and flat ledges. He just has so much bike control and can maneuver the bike however he wants. Not only is he good at tech stuff, he goes huge. Because he's young, he has no fear yet. Must be nice. Chase just put in the most work, in my opinion, in 2021. That is the official SMCGR of 2022. Trick track video is coming out next, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to like and subscribe with all the YouTubey stuff. Keep putting in that work. I always have my eye on the community. I see if you're doing good things, but if I miss you, make sure to tag us at SuckMyCog and we'll check you out. Who knows, maybe you'll make the list next year. I'm still trying to make the list myself, so maybe I can make it next year. Catch you guys soon.